to a special edition of the Dope Sports Podcast brought to you by dopecontent.com.
Yeah.
This is a Dallas Wings update, and as you see on the screen, we have three very special guests. Three of the best in the media world that's been doing their thing, killing it at the Dallas Wings, Dallas Mavericks, TCU, college, Rice, I mean, everything. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves because they can do it way better than me. I don't want to miss anything. Let's start with ShaVonne. Let's go.
ShaVonne Herndon, the proud soccer reporter of the Dallas Wings.
Yeah.
That's not all you do, but okay. Okay, ShaVonne, that's not all you do. But moving on, we have Liz and her TCU, freshly graduated TCU. Liz, go ahead, it's on you.
I'm Liz Marquez. I just graduated from TCU with my bachelor's in journalism, and I've been covering TCU football, men's, women's basketball, Dallas Wings, Dallas Mavericks, and now UTSA football.
There it is. Killing it. So be on the lookout because she's coming up fast. Like she just named all the things she's doing right now, and she's just getting started. So it's crazy. Next up, we got Mr. 6'5" Landon himself. Hey, I'm go ahead and do it because I go down a whole list. Go ahead, Landon.
I don't even know if I can go after those two, but yeah. So I'm the owner of Mavs Fans for Life LLC. I cover the Mavericks, reporter there, and then also owner of the Wings Bulletin. So I cover the Wings on that as well.
There it is. Landon has been putting in work with the Mavericks. I found Landon like 2 years ago because it was one guy that kept asking the hard questions that nobody else would ask. And I was like, who is this guy? I got to find him. And then I just randomly came across, I think you made a post, actually, one of your questions to Jason Kidd. And I was like, that's him. Follow. Just like that. So,
it's hard to do now when they're winning.
Yeah, it is. But we needed somebody there to ask the questions that nobody else would ask. And you was one of the few that was doing this. So I definitely appreciate your work, man. All you guys, I appreciate your work. Y'all know me as Kevin Lewis, K-Lou, Dope Content. We do it all. We do basketball, we do football, we do wrestling, we do anything. You just name it, we do it. That's why it's called Dope Content. But thank you for joining right here on the Dallas Wings update. And we're going to keep it short and sweet. We're not going to waste no time here. We're just going to get right into it. We are at the All-Star / Olympic break right now. And the Dallas Wings, unfortunately, are at the bottom of the league. There are only 4 games out technically with 15 left to play, as Landon pointed out earlier before we started streaming. But right now they're 6-19. Overall, they're 5th in offense, 7th in rebounding, 8th in assists, but they're dead last in defense. They should be healthy when they come back from the All-Star break or Olympic break. How you guys feeling moving in these last 15 games? What can they do? Can they sneak in the 8th spot, or what's your thoughts? Whoever want to go.
Ladies first.
I'm like,
Don't be scared.
Hey, I'll say it. They will make the playoffs. They will make the playoffs with everyone coming back healthy, full strength. You got to, we talk about Satu. We talk about the other people who, have been out. But the key person to me is Maddie Seegers. And I think and as the team, her defensive presence, her with the ball, just on the offensive side and defensive side, I think Maddie is the sleeper. But I will say this, mark my words, they will make the playoffs indeed. So
ShaVonne has them making the playoffs. Again, they only have to get to the 8th spot, correct?
That's correct. And talk about them having I think LT, Landon, not Latricia Trammell, Landon, you mentioned 15 games left. But I think of those 15 games, they do have the second hardest strength of schedule when they return back from the Olympic break. But strength of schedule aside, I still think they'll make the playoffs. I'm not going to say what spot, but they will get in there just based on talent and camaraderie alone.
Okay, I'm gonna let y'all go before I give my opinion. Liz, is on you. How you feeling about these last 15 games?
I think it will, like ShaVonne said, a hard schedule to finish out, but I don't think that they can't get the job done. I know Odyssey Sim said the second to last game, look, hey, we're really close. We just need to find a way to finish out these games strong. And with healthy bodies coming back, I think they can do that. Now, if they can improve on the defensive side of the ball, I think that'll help them a little bit more getting into that playoff spot. But I have no doubt that they'll be able to kind of gel together. It's just getting on the defensive end and working on that side, I think, will be kind of the ongoing thing they want to fix heading into the playoffs.
All right. So we got 2 yeses. Landon, how you feeling?
It's gonna be brutal. I mean, just being honest here, it's, ShaVonne said it with the schedule, and Liz said it with the defense. I think those are the toughest things that they have to battle, is because obviously they're coming back healthy. That's the optimism with Satu and Maddie, and who knows with Jalen coming back. But, Satu and Maddie, those are 2 vital pieces of your team, especially Maddie's development early on in the season. You've seen a totally different player, especially defense as well, because she could score from just the Villanova days, but now the defensive end, she's showing a lot of potential there. And Satu obviously coming back with the season that she had last season, it gives you optimism. But when you look at the schedule, they're coming back. The first game is the Connecticut Sun. They're already one of the top teams, and they just got Mabry as well, so that's going to be tough. And then you got New York back to back, and okay, you got the Sparks there. Hopefully you take care of business there. But then the next 3 games, you got the Aces, the Lynx, and the Fever. So, you really have to take care of business if you're the Wings coming back healthy. In the players that have been playing, you get a month off, you get a little bit of rest, and then, get back in the gym and get back to work. So if they want to make the playoffs, it's available for them when you look at the standings, because the 8th seed right now would be the Sky, and they just traded Mabry, and, who knows with that young team. They have 10 wins. Right. The Wings have 6 wins. So it's really all on the Wings, but they have a tough schedule ahead of them.
Yeah, as a fan of the Dallas Wings, I want to say, they be healthy, they'll make it, they'll come back. Satu, hopefully. I don't know what's going on with Jalen. I know they probably can't disclose that, but she's been out. I was looking forward to seeing her after that preseason game, and she's been out. So I was looking forward to her. As a fan, I want to say, because they'll be healthy and all that, but as a non-biased, sports reporter, whatever you want to call it, I have to lean towards no. And the reason why is because I don't know if they're going to make the right decisions on who they're going to keep with these contracts moving forward once everybody is healthy. Ooh. So, Odyssey Sims she instantly came back on a hardship contract, and she's the best point guard instantly. And I believe, let me see, she's their 3rd best scorer right now. Yeah, she's their 3rd best scorer right now as far as average. Odyssey Sims, 17.2 points a game. Who know? Is she going to be here when everybody's healthy, or are you going to let her go?
She better be.
What? I hope so. I hope they keep her.
I mean, look, ShaVonne is on here, so I'm trying to be good. Look, she should have been here from jump. Let me just say that. She should have been here from jump, especially coming off of last season when you had your best year as a Dallas Wings, since being the Dallas Wings. You had your best season. You would think you want to build on that and maybe bring in more veteran talent that can help get you to the next level, but instead they decided to go young and get rid of the veteran talent, and that just confused the hell out of me. Because I'm like, well, is the goal to build to try to get closer to the championship, or are we trying to rebuild and do a whole thing fresh? Because if we're trying to rebuild and do a whole thing fresh, why are you signing Satu for another year? Why are you not trading Enrique and T? Why are you keeping these players around if you're trying to rebuild? So what are you really trying to do? You're kind of confusing me with, or are you trying to go young, or are you trying to win now? So that's my thing. Right now I'm going to say no, because I don't trust it. I don't know what they're gonna do. I feel like the wrong people are gonna get cut.
Kayla, you say you trust it. You can't because of the personnel that's in place right now. I'm able to trust it because I know what we do against top tier opponents. I do against the Connecticut Suns. I see what we do against New York. For some reason, this team has a way of elevating, no matter who is on the court, they elevate their game to the competition. And so, second, with strength of schedule, they're in the second right now. When they come back, it's kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde in a way, but that's kind of what we do. We step up against, high caliber opponents. So everybody else may look at strength of schedule, and I look at it like we've been here before, and this is what we do. We rise to the occasion. When it's the New York Liberty and Connecticut Sun, when it's the Las Vegas Aces, we have a better win percentage against those type of teams. Correct me if I'm wrong.
See, that's why I didn't mention the schedule, the strength of schedule. I mentioned who's going to be here. Simply as that. Again, we know Satu is going to be back. That's great. That's going to help a lot. Talent-wise, they have talent. It's just which talent are you that's going to gel and which talent you're going to keep together. So this is like Coach always called it, it's like a second training camp, basically. That's about to happen. And I just hope they make the right decisions. I don't want to throw nobody under the bus, no players, so I'm not going to say names or anything like that. But certain people needs to stay on this team. And unfortunately, that means somebody will have to go. So that's the hard decision that they have to make. But they can make the right decisions and get back into it. I just not sure if they're going to do that. So that's my thing.
And I hear you on that. And I talked to Enrique about this. I want to say maybe earlier in the season or maybe end of last season. When you have those core people in place, the other role players kind of go with core. When I say core, I mean Enrique, Satu, and I mean Natasha. So once those people are in place, and when those people are in place, you don't think the other role players kind of just follow their lead in a way? I feel like when we have 3 core players in place, 100% healthy, playing to their full capacity and their ability, I think we're okay.
I
think maybe bouncing off of that a little bit, I see that a lot in JC kind of feeding off of Odyssey and Monique, and it's really cool to see her kind of just balling out recently, especially with Maddie out. Like, I feel like she's kind of taken that place in a sense, and she's just really impressed me finishing out this first half of the season before the Olympic break.
Yeah, that's having Maddie come back as well. That's a huge. I know I kept saying Satu because that's the big name that everybody is focused on, but Maddie coming back is huge. Like I say, the talent is there. It's just how can you get it to gel in this short amount of time with everybody finally coming back and getting together, and who you keep and who you don't keep and all that. So Landon, how you feeling? Anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the roster, it's tough. That's what the WNBA is about, is the roster spots. Because that's why you see players like Odyssey and Monique come right in and be vital pieces to every single game plan that you have, because this league, there's not enough spots, and obviously you're seeing it grow in the next couple of years. But as of right now, you really have to sit down and make those tough decisions, because are we trying to win with a healthy roster, or are we trying to take a step back and let younger players develop and then go all in next season when you have a fresh start with your record being 0-0? Those are the type of conversations that they have to have as an organization, because you haven't Satu, one of the best 5 players last season, come back to your team, and you have Maddie, who's developing on her own, coming back to the team. So, you would think that they're going to go for playoffs. Just what you see from, prior years. But, I'm the type of person, let JC get all those minutes. Let Maddie get all those minutes, and, find a way to position yourself, because you do have one of the best classes coming up here in the draft. I mean, you have Paige who's coming up, so you never know. But just from a professional standpoint, you have to try to make playoffs. And when you look at 2 spots that you have to cut, that's tough. But Odyssey is on the team. I mean, for me, because like, how many times do you bring her back as a hardship? She balls out, and then you move on for an experiment. You got to keep the sure thing, and I would keep Odyssey and Monique because they're doing the best of their situations, and you have 5 rookies on the team, and that's tough too because I personally like Lou. I think just from what she did at UConn, I think if you actually position her as a shooter, which I haven't seen so far, I think she would really explore. Her talent, but I think.
Landon, I don't want to cut you off, but that's my question to you. What's the time frame to make these decisions? Because I see what they did for Avery. They brought her in like right there at the All-Star break. Homegirl was wearing a Connecticut Sun.
Yeah.
Was in the highlights in her Chicago Sky uniform. I thought that was crazy. But like, what's the time frame to start making these decisions? Like, I don't want to see us kind of linger with it, if that makes sense. If we need to make these decisions, I think right now is the time.
It is now.
That's a good point, because if they are healthy, you would want to make those decisions now, so you know what you have going into the second half of the season. And honestly, I mean, are we just picking players? Or Kalu, I don't know if you want me to do that, but
I'm being good today. ShaVonne is on the stream. I'm being good. So.
Okay, I'll say this. Oh, I'm sorry, ShaVonne.
Go ahead, ShaVonne.
Trade deadline.
Oh, I don't know with the Olympic break. That's tough. I don't know in the Olympic break how that works out. But I will say this with the players that they have coming back. I mean, you honestly have to go for playoffs because you also have a pick swap with Chicago Sky. So I'm more on trying to win when you have Satu and Maddie come back.
Right.
Who knows with Jalen with her status, but I'm going on who is producing. Right. The experiments, you don't know what you're going to get there. You still haven't seen what you're going to get there, but Odyssey and Monique, they're hooping, so I would keep them for sure.
Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, I thought you said something, ShaVonne. I didn't want to cut you off.
Let go.
Who would I let go? You want me to answer that?
Y'all can answer.
Okay, well, Landon kind of said it. I mean, you have about 4 players that you just doing the experimental thing with right now. That if if your goal is to make the playoffs, win a championship, you can let them do their thing. You can let them go and possibly bring them back for next training camp if they're still available.
But, I'm not naming.
Yeah, I'm not gonna name names, but people should know. If you watch the Wings, you should know, because these players are not even getting time like I thought. Like, one person that I actually want to see more of, because she's a big and she can shoot from the outside, is Stephanie. I would love to see Stephanie play more, because she brings a factor that Kalani and Tiara doesn't bring. She has the size, and then she can pick and pop out, which Kalani can too, but she doesn't. They don't have her do it enough. Stephanie can pop out to that 3-point line like she Dirk Nowitzki and hit a 3, but they don't play her, So if you're not gonna play her, just kind of, why would you keep holding on to a roster spot for people you're not playing? That's all I'm saying. When you have people coming back that's gonna need, and they're balling, so that's all I'm gonna say on that.
I mean, ShaVonne, do you want us to drop names?
No, I was just asking.
Okay.
And granted, y'all, it's not a lock to be, a pick for us. Let's just throw that out there. That's typically the expansion. Also, I know you said we did a pick with Chicago. That I mean, with them trading Marina, like to be I feel like let's just go ahead and make the playoffs. Count on the pick that Chicago, would give to us. I just don't feel like the draft is where we need to be developing right now. You have a win now type of team. Just need to focus on these veteran players who are really doing a great job. Feelings like what she's done for us is just outstanding from day one. Just her energy, the player she is, what she's bringing to the team as far as her aura is what I say. We need to have a win now mentality, and I think we do have a win now mentality. But it's important to get these pieces in place before we push to the playoffs. So we need to do it sooner rather.
And that's
it's the game. It's the game, and I don't know what the players are thinking. People like Odyssey and Monique, are they mentally going into these games like, is this my last game? Is Jaylen Brown by Monique Billings going out? Is this my last game? Is Satu, is she coming back? Like, let's give them the reassurance and the peace of mind, and that hey, you're staying on this team. That way they don't have to deal with this mental hardship contract thing, that cloud that's over their head every single game. Because when you put your body and your feelings and you say, I want you, they're just gonna go out even harder. Imagine when this hardship contract stuff is over, and you tell somebody like Odyssey Sims, we're signing you for the rest of the season. Can you imagine what's coming out that next game? She gonna go for even 40, because when you have that reassurance, it does something to you that makes you just want to go and play hard.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I just based off the moves that have been made since I started coming to the games and covering it in person, I can't trust the front office. Greg, I'm sorry. This is me, my opinion only. Nobody else is on here. This is me talking. I just don't know if you're going to do the right thing when it comes to which players you keep. And that's why I said earlier, I'm confused on what's the real goal here. Is the real goal to push forward from last year off that success, or is it we're going to start fresh, or we're going to take it back a little bit and try to rebuild this team behind whoever they decide to keep? Because I don't know what Enrique's contract is looking like. I know Satu's on a 1-year deal, and if you do decide to rebuild, what does that mean for Satu? Her contract is going to be up. Is she going to re-sign here? Like, stuff like that makes me nervous, and that's what I think about when I'm at the games. Now, last in defense, I have my reason why they're last in defense, because there's no reason they should be last. But from what I've seen, being baseline with you guys and being there, they don't talk. They don't communicate at all on defense. Not a single word. They just look around, and then when somebody's wide open because they have a miscommunication, which I don't know how you have miscommunications when you're not talking, but that's when they finally yell, go over there, go over there. Other than that, they don't talk. So how can that, like, I want to ask Coach this, but it's kind of hard to ask Coach this because you don't want to come off like disrespectful. So, like, in your opinion, how's that something, how can they fix that? I don't know how to ask this question. How do they fix that?
I mean, honestly, it's not a one person problem. It's not a player's problem. It's not a coach problem. It's all of the above. It's everyone. They have to communicate on defense. When you're watching the games, you don't see it as much as you saw last season. Is it missing Satu as one of the leaders on the team? Because she did that a lot last season. But it's also a want-to. And it's a little bit of losing. When you're losing, you're not as energized as you were when you were one of the top 4 teams last year.
Right.
So I think it's a little bit of all the above. I do like what I see from JC. She's going to compete all day, all game on the defensive end. And then also I think they were really good at team defense last year. They didn't really have a lot of stoppers on the team. They just had great team defense because of the communication. So I think they need to, I think it's, as a collective whole, they all need to talk and they all need to get better at that. And the coach has to tell them as well. So I think it's both sides of it.
Anything else, ladies?
I guess I just wanted to add, going back to ShaVonne's point about being like having that reassurance with the players on your team. I think once they have that reassurance, it'll help them get a little more confidence back. And if, like I said, they come back and they're healthy, they have those veterans that are speaking up, like, hey, we need to do this, and like have those people that are gonna come in and be like, you know what, hey, first half of the season, we did some good things, some things just didn't go our way, but we're here now. We have the second opportunity to finish out the second half of the season. Great. Like, let's do it. We have to have those people that are just like, come on, like, let's get it together. Let's do this thing, because they need to get back in the win column. And that could be a thing too, just going in and out of the win column. That also could be the confidence.
I mean, they finished the last game before break with a huge win, which was it was a crazy fourth quarter back and forth with Indiana. That was a classic fourth quarter. So I low key want to just watch the highlights of that fourth quarter and just tell the team, do this. This is what you need to do. Defensive wise, they still need to communicate more, but overall, do this. This is Dallas Wings basketball right here. This is what we know and love. Like, just get back to that and stick to that. But ShaVonne, any thoughts on that? The defensive communication or anything?
Yeah, defensively, it was talking about, and you were talking about, they gotta talk. I that was something I didn't even pick up on, but now that you say that, yeah, I can see where there's some laps there where they're not talking. I see Odyssey talking on defense. Yeah. I think Enrique has been like just a quiet assassinator on defense. She's not talking as much, but she's in the top of the league and still. So maybe that's not her role as far as talking. But when you look at Maddie Seegers, what Maddie does on the defensive side of the ball, when you look at Satu, what she does on the defensive side of the ball, I think those are your two defensive leaders there. And when they're out, there's only so much they can do from the bench and talk to the team from the bench. So once you get those two players back, I think you'll be fine, and you'll see more of that communication and that talking. But like I said, and I'm going to stand on this, I think these players deserve to know who they're going to battle with each and every night. And before this half of the season starts, they need to know this is going to go to battle with me now, head into the playoffs. There doesn't need to be any guessing. The cloud that hangs there. Like, how are you going to talk and communicate with somebody if you don't know if they're going to be on the team tomorrow or the next day? Just ease that off of them, and so they can start building some camaraderie, because I think that's so important. They need camaraderie. They need to be a team right now. I think right now there are a lot of individuals, and I think that just goes back to just get that glue in place, bring it all together. And if I know I'm going to battle with Liz tomorrow and I don't have to second guess if she's going to be here, come playoff time, I'm going to go to bat. Then we can start working on building our communication, because I know she's going to be here tomorrow and the next day and playoff time. So it's not going to be a problem.
That's a very good point by ShaVonne right there. And that's probably your reason why the defense is so bad. I mean, obviously they can communicate, but they don't know who to communicate it with. Like, they don't know, when you're playing with different players, some are injured or some of them weren't on the team last year. It's different where you have to build that camaraderie together. And then also Natasha's just getting back. So, she's getting back into rhythm and getting back into form. She's one of the leaders as well. So
she's not a talker though. She's not really, even.
But just know where you're at.
Yeah, she's laid back.
Yeah, and I think you'll see a difference with Satu. She's a talker. Like, she on defense and offense, she's going to be talking throughout the game. And, on offense, you don't really need to be talking that much. You just need to know the plays and and you have bucket getters on the team, they're going to go get a bucket. But defense,
Right.
you have to have that camaraderie.
You have to talk. And Landon, you know this from the Mavs game, from doing, covering Jason Kidd. His main thing is they have to communicate. He says it almost every game, win or lose. Defense has to communicate, and that's the one thing I've been waiting to hear from Coach LT. And I don't think we set her up to give that answer yet, because like I said, we want to ask that question, and it's like, man, if we ask it, it's gonna sound like disrespectful, so we just kind of let it go. But that's the only thing I've seen. They have defenders, they can play defense individually, they just the no talking. I noticed that real strong, and I was like, this is not good. They're not talking at all. No matter if I'm watching on TV, no matter if I'm right there under the basket, I don't hear nothing from them. I hear the other team talking. I hear nothing from them on defense. They talk on offense. Defense, they don't talk. And then another thing, the only other thing that really gets on my nerves is the pouting going up and down the court. And I understand that Tiara does not get the calls that she should get. The refs, they don't know how to officiate Tiara McCowan. Just simple as that. They don't know how to call a game when she's in it. And it's low-key like that with Kalani too, but it's mainly Tiara, because Tiara is more physical, and she'll get down there, and she'll throw some balls to get that rebound. But you can't let it get to you. You can't let it get to you. And she knows this, because last time we did our press conference 2 games ago, she even said, hey, it's times where I don't always give back and do this, and I work on that. So she knows it, but I feel like it needs to be enforced a little more, kind of like what Kidd did with Luka and his pouting and complaining. I kind of need to put your foot down a little bit more, in my opinion, with Tiara, or as far as that pouting. Other than that, they just got to communicate on defense, and it'll turn around, in my opinion. Any thoughts on that? Good on that?
No, I mean, you bring up a good point with Tiara. Tiara is going to make her point known with the refs. I mean, we've seen that for years. I think it's more highlighted when the team is losing than when the team is winning. But she was doing it when they were winning too, but it wasn't as bad when they're losing, because she does it more. But it is a point where you have to just get back, and that's the problem. When I say this about Luka, the same thing goes for Tiara. When they're consistently complaining to the refs, and it hurts you on defense, and that's another reason. Transition defense is part of defense, and when you're constantly doing it, it becomes a problem, because you're hurting your team defensively. Right. So it's best to do it during timeout or during stoppage of play. Then you can complain to the refs all day, but like during play, that also hurts you with the refs.
Right.
Like, they're not going to give you more calls because you're complaining while the other team is going the other way. So like, if you allow your coaches to do it for you, or you do it during stoppage of play, it will make everything better for your team.
Any feedback from their ladies, or are you good on that? No?
I agree with y'all.
Okay. I want to give everybody a chance to say whatever they need to say before we, move on to the next topic. So, on a positive note, we have Arike Ogunbowale winning the WNBA MVP yet again. And this time she set a WNBA record for points in the All-Star game with 34. The crazy thing is, it all came in the second half. Did you guys get to watch the game live? And how can we keep that momentum going into the second half of the season?
I mean, she said it in the press conference. Hey, coach called me out, and I came out, and I was like, you know what? I got to show out. So, hey, if we got to call players out to make them ball out like that, hey, we got to do that. But she had an absolutely crazy second half. I was just in there like, no way, she's about to make this three. Like, it was insane. She absolutely balled out. I loved watching her play.
And I think we've become so used to these type of performances by Enrique. You know, that we kind of just need to sit back and watch her and be in awe. You know, because we get privileged to see this night in and night out. You know, that's one of the times that the world gets to see it. You know, and I think a lot of people need to start taking a look at Enrique's game. She's truly one of the best players in the WNBA, and she doesn't get enough attention, the attention that she deserves. And I think that on the pedestal that she needs to be on and deserves to be on, and to do it against the USA Olympics. Yeah. Go Enrique.
She came out with a point to prove to me is what it looked like in the second half. But Landon, what you got?
Yeah, with the USA thing, I feel like Enrique was incredible to watch. You know, just I think she's the streakiest shooter in the league. Like when she makes a couple in a row, she's gonna make the next 5. Like it's incredible to watch. I do think she's underappreciated with the totality of her game, because she has improved her defense. She has improved her passing, which is really good to see. And, you know, when you have a talent like that, you know, on the big stage, like ShaVonne said, you know, it's incredible to see amongst peers. It's not like a regular season game. Like this whole team was all-stars, and you're going up against Team USA, you know, and you're 34 points in the second half. Because remember in the press conference before All-Star break, she said she was tired. You know, she was tired, and you saw it in the first half of that game. Like she was just going through the motions. But then, you know, the coach, like Liz said, the coach called her out in halftime. Cheryl Miller, the legend, you know. And then the second half, she just goes on a tangent scoring wise, and it was incredible to watch. Just amazing.
I got a question because I'm looking at WNBA.com right now. It's 12 players you keep, right?
Mm-hmm. Or sometimes 11, yeah, the salary cap.
So, but the max, but you can't keep 12, like just not hardship contracts. I'm talking about full. Okay.
Yep.
So right now, they don't have Satu on here. I don't see, but outside of Satu, it looks like they have their full roster up right now. So it's Tiara, Stephanie, Segji, Odyssey, Natasha, Monique, Maddie, Lou, Kalani, Jalen, JC, Enrique. That's 11. And then they have Morgan on here, which I didn't know she was still on the team.
No.
This is WNBA.com. Let me. Okay, this WNBA.com. I clicked on Dallas Wings players and stats. So let me click on something else. Let's see if they.
But you got salary cap. If I'm not mistaken, Enrique and Natasha Howard are 2 of the most paid WNBA players.
Right.
And so those 2 alone kind of counts for 3 or 4 players.
Okay. So I was trying to figure it out because I'm like, well, it shows what, you know, when they have Satu, they have 12 now that's accounted for on this website. So we were having a discussion earlier about who we keeping and letting go. I was like, well, shoot, they have the right number. So I was trying to figure out how that worked.
Yeah, I think they have to have 11 because of the salary cap, like ShaVonne was saying.
Okay.
I think right now they have 13 with Odyssey and Monique. But they have, once the team is healthy, they have to cut 2 players on the roster.
2, right. Okay.
And I think you would like your rookies to step up, you know, be a certain type of player, you know, a certain type of role, and, you know, knock it out the park. Because I look at the NFL, like a lot of these NFL teams, they're successful because they have these first year, second year, third. Look at Patrick Mahomes. He's been able to be so successful, but he still was playing off of a rookie contract. So in a way, yeah, you want to win, but a lot of these winning teams, they've had first year and second year players that were just really, really good, and they were able to kind of maximize their budget by, not spending so much. I do look at the Las Vegas Aces. They, they have their starting five, which is probably one of the highest,
Mhm.
paid, salaries. But you look at their bench, and they were able to get away with, maybe a league minimum salary with a couple of their players, or a veteran, salary, just paying them the minimum. That's how they were able to execute and pay for their bench. But there's a way you gotta kind of figure that out, the payments of everything. And I think it, even if you look at Odyssey and you look at Monique, even if you sign them for just a league minimum, I still think, because I think, to me, that's the equivalent of a rookie salary. I think you're still fine there.
Mhm.
But we've been trying to bank on these rookies, and for the last 2 years, we've brought in some good rookies. The only one that's really kind of hit their mark is Maddie right now, and now we see JC starting to come into her own. But yeah, right now it's a win now mentality, and so you got to start thinking about that. You might need to start, and you don't have to cut these players. I mean, Stephanie and Lou, or anybody who just came on the team, like, maybe, who knows, something may happen if we have them waiting in the wing, like, for maybe they'll be on a hardship, if something was to happen, at least you still kind of have them in the organization. And I said this before the season started. And we have like a practice squad. I know, like,
Mhm.
they have that, what do you call the league under the MLB? I'm not real big on baseball, but
Triple A,
huh?
Triple A.
Triple A.
Triple A, and they're able to bring those people up from the Triple A. So let's have a huge veteran presence on our main team, and then, just if something happens, like, bring those rookies up when a spot becomes available, and then, but they're still within the system. They're still within the organization. They know the plays, so when they get called up, they're ready to go. So if we could have a system like that in place, I think that's something that needs to be explored and talked about.
And I have an idea for that.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you want me to say it here, but okay, so Athletes Unlimited, right?
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Mhm.
so that's more of, a league where players can play in the US
Mhm.
outside of the WNBA season.
Right.
So when you have another league like Unrivaled, taking all the all-stars, or taking, the best of the best, that's going to be outside of the WNBA season. That's going to hurt the AU, because you have players like Alicia Gray and some of these, really good WNBA players playing in that league. Obviously, you can still do it, but it's going to hurt the top of the talent of that league. So why not, since they already have a partnership with the W, move the season from the beginning of the year to during the WNBA season? So then you can have players who are available for hardship, who are rookies that don't get playing time. Like some of the rookies you mentioned, they could drop down there to play and get full game experience. Because like you said, the W, you don't have that experience where you can go down to a league and come right back. And then
Right.
also you could have, some of the international players go in there and say, oh, wow, this person is really stepping out or standing out. Let me sign them to my team. So you could have that in a city where they have the top attendance in the league, or where you truly get the value of fans supporting women's basketball, so they can also go to the AU, where you only have it in one location, instead of like the G League and the NBA where it's all locations, they travel and stuff. Just have one hot spot where all these players play, and then you also can extend the WNBA rosters. You can have two, like ShaVonne said, you can have two developing players that plays in the AU, and they can come at the
Right.
end of the season, they can come back to your team or something like
And,
that.
and it can be on a two-way contract. The G
Oh, yeah.
put him on a 2-way contract.
Where the balloons come from in your? I was like, am I tripping? I see balloons.
I was like, that can't lose your birthday or something.
I do. That's not me. That's
ShaVonne do it. Okay.
Work. That'll work.
But nah,
It just gives you a long-term sustainability of talent and just development, because that's the problem. Like Lou and Suarez, like they have talent. You know they have talent,
right.
but you probably won't see it with this team this season. They're not playing, so
And we
you
drafted from France, right? Y'all
oh yeah,
have a walk. I forgot about what's
and
Yeah,
the
when
walk
the walk
too.
comes
She's
back,
coming
yeah.
back next season. It's
Yeah.
gonna be hard to make spots.
the young lady, the point guard from France. She's gonna be. So where are all these spots gonna go?
Exactly.
So that's the thing. You got all these players. The good thing is we have another team coming next year, and then another team after that. So
Yeah.
they did sign a new TV deal with Amazon and Disney. You know, what was it, 2.2 billion?
Mhm.
So maybe some of that money and that revenue can go to a G League or a practice squad team, or your idea, Landon. You're putting the I almost said companies, but putting the leagues together where they can work together like that. Like you said, we'll see. They just have to be smart with it. They got the money now. Now it's up to the front office, and I'm not talking about the wings. I'm talking about the WNBA to do the right thing and don't start being greedy and selfish and all that, because you know how people get when they get more money than they ever had. They turn into different people. They need to do the right thing. And, hopefully we'll get that practice squad, that G League or the combined leagues where you can just bring them up and all that. So, but that's pretty much all I have today. Like, I know my 11 or 12, if I had to keep them. And I'll go ahead and list mine. Monique, Enrique, Kalani. We have 2 6'7", 6'8" centers that are both beasts in the paint. Kalani, we know she got a great mid-range shot. Tiara has shown that she can step back and shoot now. She started working on her threes. Instead of trying to force the ball into the paint all the time with those, how about we try to put them in the mid-range, pick and pop, kind of like the Karl Malone, John Stockton every now and then. That way they can get some shots up. And then, because they're going to leave them open. They're like, oh, we're not gonna let you shoot. We're not gonna let you dominate the paint. Get the open shot. If you miss, you miss. But it's an open shot. Why we should do that more, in my opinion. I'm gonna just say that before we get off the street. Any thoughts on that?
No,
The ball.
I agree. Yeah, it also opens up the paint. And when you look at other teams, they have more dynamic offenses.
Yeah, 'cause the paint is
with
open.
The wings, it's more like go get your bucket. You would like to see more pick and pop or more mid range, or cuts and different pin downs. Like you would like to see more of that.
It's so cluttered in the paint when they're on offense, and it's like I see times where Enrique is trying to she'll take her defender off the ball and she has to pull out because the paint is cluttered, and it's with all the guards. So she ended up taking a shot that was more difficult than the shot that she needed. And she's great at making them, but I look at times like, man, she didn't really need to take that difficult shot when she could have easily got a layup. So things like that I just think about all the time when I'm watching Kalani and Tiara. I'm just like, man, they can shoot too. Like, this don't have to be the old school Shaquille O'Neal, throw it in the paint, just let them get double team and try to let them work. Like, put all the talent to use. That's just my thing. That's my only one of my pet peeves with the way they play right now. But I got my 12, my 11. I'm pretty sure y'all got y'all 11 and 12. We ain't gonna have to name nobody. I kind of know who they are already. I appreciate everybody that that's watching this when I do upload it on YouTube, the website, etc. I appreciate you guys for joining. Please shout out your social media and everything that you want to promote. ShaVonne, it's on you.
My social media on Instagram is @StarVonne, StarV as in victory. ShaVonne again at StarVonne at StarVonne.
There it is. Liz, it's on you.
My social medias are lysquez, lysquez, and let's keep elevating the women's game.
Bow. There it is. Landon is on you.
No, I agree with that. 6'5" Lando. So 6'5" Lando on on Twitter and IG.
That ain't all of them, Landon. What's the name of them? Go ahead, tell them the other ones, man.
Mavs Fans for Life on Twitter, Facebook, IG, YouTube, and then also Wings Bulletin on Twitter, IG, Facebook, and YouTube. Haven't done YouTube and Facebook, but mainly Twitter. Just trying to build the audience first before I migrate to other social media apps.
Now there it is.
In the websites. But yeah.
Yeah, see, there it is. The man of many traits, doing it all. The ladies are killing it, doing it all, just all over the place, man. I'm just trying to catch up here.
YouTube, man. YouTube.
Man.
Yeah,
you
YouTube.
Say, look, we're doing what we can over here at the Dope Content Umbrella. We're trying to make it work. So once again, I appreciate y'all for joining. I'll try to keep it under an hour. So we're at 50 minutes right now. So we're doing good. Is there anything that we missed before we get off that you can think of? Any rotation, gameplay, positive, negative, anything we missed? I just want to get it all before we shut it down.
Kayla, I remember you mentioned like Satu saying that, or a lot of people saying, well, why is Satu fully healthy right now? And I think, that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, she has shoulder surgery.
Right.
My close friend who works her out, Stephania, shout out to Stephania out in LA, and she's been doing a lot of Pilates work with Satu, getting her back to full strength. So I don't think that's fair for the fans to be like, well, why is she healthy right now? If anything, we're glad she's healthy. We're glad I saw the game against the USA, and she was able to get to her spots. She was able to knock down some shots. We want her to play in the Olympics so she can start getting those reps under her belt, so she's ready after this season. So if anything, this is going according to plan, and this thing that the Olympics is before the second half of the season, so she can get those reps under her belt.
Right. And just to be clear, if Satu sees this, that statement was about the fans on Twitter, not none of us. We all know what it is. We all talked to you. Like I said, I talked to you on media day, and you told me what the plan was. So I knew from jump. Didn't bother me. ShaVonne, I'm pretty sure, has plenty of conversation with you, Liz and Landon. We all know what it is because we're there. We're talking about the fans who don't know, that's been trying to make these posts on Twitter. So don't get mad at us, Satu. We know what it is. We with you. So we just want to be clear on that. Yeah, it's all love over here. So Landon, anything else? Liz, anything else?
No, thank you for having me.
Oh yeah.
Miss y'all.
Yeah, just repeat what Liz said. Just support women's basketball. That's what really it boils down to, and how the league grows. If you haven't been to a game, it's even better in person. I mean, it's great on TV, but like in person, they be really rocking that you don't see on TV. So just go out and enjoy.
Yeah, I think I want to add this. I'm here at a Spurs camp in San Antonio, and half of these little girls are wearing WNBA shirts, and that fills my heart so much because you would have never seen that a couple years ago. So,
wow, there it is, man. So appreciate everybody once again, all your support. Whether you support my channel, Landon channel, Liz, ShaVonne, no matter who you supporting, appreciate you. Much love to you guys. We gotta do this again. I know my Wi-Fi is a little iffy today because I'm on the mobile hotspot because of Spectrum. But Spectrum has been out for 3 days. It's trash, so I'm actually using my cell phone Wi-Fi to record this. I'm talking about just heated. I was upset all last night and all this morning because I'm like, this is ridiculous. But we got it done. It was a good episode, so I appreciate you once again. And until next time, y'all be safe. We are out.